Um, Tony Robbins had a quote. We're not going to focus on who Tony Robbins is. All Christians know who he is, but we're not going to focus on that because we know if we are in close enough relationship with God, we get revelation in everything, correct? He has a quote, and his quote is, "Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change." Okay, so we can define this by a woman who's pregnant for 9 months. When she starts having contractions, she can't stay the same in that. It's too painful. And the pain of the change of childbirth, that potential, she has to go through in order for that transition. A pimples come to a head and they hurt so bad, but the pain of changing that pimple, the potential of that is in our minds, we have to relieve it, right? So this message basically is about the testing of your faith and why our faith has to be tested, because I don't want anybody to get it twisted and think that God needs to see where your faith is, because that's not true. God doesn't need to see where his faith is. God doesn't test us or allow things to happen in our lives because he needs to see. No. He tests us and allows circumstances and trials and struggles to come into our lives for us, to better us, so we can better understand. And not only that, so that more so, people can see his glory in our lives. That's the ultimate purpose, okay? Not just for our understanding, because I got to tell you, sometimes I don't see the change in myself. Somebody else has seen it before I have. Somebody else confirms it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not, that's not me. So a trial is a test. This is important, and I want you guys to write this stuff down. Even though if you think you know, just write it down. A trial is a test of performance, qualities, or suitability of someone or something. Work, activity involving mental or physical effort. Work, activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. A task to be undertaken. Something a person or thing has to do. Work has to be done, right? We have to work to get money. We have to cut the grass, or, there's snakes in it and stuff. We don't like that. So go ahead and put my first scripture up there, Allie. 1 Peter 1, 6 and 7. It talks about your faith being tested. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, which, let's be honest, not all of us can rejoice in our trials, right? Right? Let's be honest. Though for a season, if need be. Okay, so that if need be, you need to highlight that, because it needs to be. We all know that. There's not one of us that doesn't need to be tried. Ye are in heaviness through a manifold temptations. Manifold is multitude. Many, 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 many. Keep going, baby. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried by fire. So, we always talk about the refinement of gold, the purification of gold. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing compared to the testing of your faith. Nothing. Because gold melts, and it does eventually perish. Might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearance of Jesus Christ. So it's not saying, oh, you're going to be blessed in abundance when your faith is tried. That's not what it's saying. It's saying God is going to be glorified. God is going to be glorified. He's going to be seen in the testing of your faith. Okay, so let's get in. This is all going somewhere. So now we're going to talk about who we are. Who we are just before we come to Christ, who we are when we come to Christ, who we are during it all, okay? So, and I'm going to use us as comparison to a diamond. So let's just keep that in mind. When I speak of diamonds, I'm speaking of us, okay? Impurities. A diamond, coal, I'll just refer to it as coal, it's carbon, is made from impurities. Some of the impurities are pollutants in the ground, nitrogen, arsenic, sulfur. Those are some majorly crazy impurities. It's also full of bacteria, decaying plant material. The definition of impurity, Alex, do you have that first slide up there, honey? So there's 4 levels that diamonds that we go through. The first one being impurities. The definition of impurity is a constituent which impairs. Okay? So we all have a manifold of those things, right? We all do. An impurity is a contaminant, pollutant, foreign body. Foreign body, let's keep that in mind, because they are foreign, because we are spiritual beings, correct? We are meant to be more like Christ every day. So if we have these impurities, they impede our walk with Christ, right? And those impurities alone that are in carbon prevent, remember that, prevent carbon from becoming a diamond. So something has to happen to those impurities. Something has to change those impurities in order for that carbon to become a diamond. Now, this carbon is found in these funneling channels next to volcanoes. First thing you thought was heat, right? Okay. So now we're going to go to number 2 of the formation of a diamond. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. So the second step is formation. Definition for formation is to bring together parts or combine to create. Synonyms are to establish or to lay a foundation. This is what formation is. So this second part of a diamond's formation is that we need to understand more intensely than gold, diamonds need extreme pressure and heat in order to be formed. Not just heat. Intense pressure and heat to be formed. And they need darkness. They need darkness for that bacteria, for that fungus, for those impurities to form. Those impurities are actually important. They're what lay the foundation for the carbon to be formed. Someone's going to get this. So they're in these heat funnels next to the volcano in degrees of upwards of between 2,700 and 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the pounds of pressure, if you can imagine this, are 725,000 pounds per